out on a Sunday again. What's that about? Sunday. I haven't got parked. That was concerned coming all this way and couldn't find the parking spot. But there's 2 or 3 in car park, which surprised me. So, where am I today? I'm at Crowden, just off at Woodhead Pass. Crowden car park. I go up past the campsite, up past the youth hostel in a minute, and then break up. I normally go up the Pennine Way up to Laddow Rocks and go over from there, but so that'll be taking me up to Lad's Leap, which I've come to from the other side, from Tintwhistle. So it's just like linking that path as well. There's a nice little weir over that way. Probably divert that way on way back to this education centre. There's a path then that's going to cut me up onto the Pennine Way, which is just above, not about halfway up there basically, where that tree is on that ridge. Now the path forks here, normally I would go right up to there, but then I've got to break left to find that path. But there is a path going this way. I thought there were, but it don't seem to be on the map. But I'll take that, because it'll be a new one, just a link as an option, and that should put me also onto the Pennine Way. So much of a muchness. So that's the normal route. This is optional plan B. All roads lead to Rome and all that. We intersected the Pennine Way, so yeah, it does come up. The education centre is down there, so I'd normally go on the right fork to push me onto the Pennine Way around there, a couple 100 metres. So I've just took this left fork, pushed me up here to the Pennine Way, and then that intersects actually the path I want to be on as well. So that's going to take me up onto the edge of the plateau and onto Lad's Leap. So now the only way is up for a little while yet, and then once I'm on top, then it's pretty much level. There's a fair bit of off-piste, but it's all, you know, within sort of 50 metres of each other sort of thing. So it shouldn't be too bad. It's just getting up there in the first place and over to Lad's Leap. So that's the next step. So I've not done this section before. I've come over to Lad's Leap from Tintwhistle, but not from this side. Thought people were supposed to be friendly on hills. Featherbed had just gone down and just says, like, you know, if you've got that much energy, can you just run up and drop me bag at top? But he said no. Yeah, so still on this path, what dropped off the Pennine Way coming up, and saying we get up onto the plateau, and then I don't know if the path goes both ways, but I want to go left, which is so take me over to Lad's Leap, and then I don't think there's a path over, not from this side anyway. I'm assuming off piste over to the Trig point, but there could be a path. So it's not one I've done before on this side of it. So nothing on the map relating to a trail. And then it got steeper, but I don't do that in one. I could have gone a bit further, but no point burning out. I'm only at the beginning of the walk. So that's one stop, second stop, probably one more before I get to the top. So I've come along this trail, heading over now a few hundred metres, 300-400 metres maybe, to Lad's Leap, and then I've got to turn off over that. There don't appear to be any paths at this point, whether I'm going to intersect one at some point, so I'm not expecting one, and what I've looked at, there isn't one, so it's going to be off piste, and a couple of cloughs to negotiate as well, I think. because that's Tin Whistle Gnaw over there. So I've come over from that side. There's a couple of sets of stiles and it brings you up here. So I came over, I think, to this cairn more or less from the other side and then backtracked. So I'll say this one joins that path, and then I'll say I've got to head over that way and get a coat of looking at. I'll have a cup of tea while I'm here and set a bearing for Trig Point, Wild Boar Clough, Sykes Moor where Blenheim is, over to Bleaklow Head on top there. Shelfmoor is over just over the rise where the Super Fortress is, so that's Lower Shelf Stones, James Thorne, and that neck of woods drops down to benches. Torside Clough and Pennine Way. This brown area is Granite Edge, and the L20 Beaver is on the cliff face over there somewhere. I need to revisit that one. I've been to that one many years ago when I first started going. That puts you then over that way, which will be Kinder's Way in the background there. That's Kinder Scout. So over there will be Chinley, Churn, Lantern Pike. Over that neck of woods. Glossop down here. Manchester in the background. Say Tin Whistle Gnaw. So here we are, Lads Leap. Just had a quick cup of tea and a couple of minutes, take my bag off, and now I've got just under a mile that away off piste. So normally a mile takes me about 20 minutes, but that's not over that. So I'm not expecting a path, and I don't think I'll be disappointed. So I'll make up for high ground, try and stay up there rather than curling round. I've got to follow this sort of clough more or less, then there's another clough comes off it, so I'm going to try and sort of tangent when I come to the clough crossing that way. I'm going to try and sort of walk around this side. That puts me in between two cloughs, and then I shouldn't have any sort of major negotiation to do if there's any like steep sides to try and cross. I mean, they might be shallow, as I say, I've not been this way before, so I don't know, but just in case they are heavy duty, I can sidestep them more or less. Nowhere roughly in the middle of Lads Leap down there, 3/4 mile off the piste that away. There's a couple of them cloughs, just need to check on that. I think I need to sort of skirt the side of that one to the head and then over, or I can obviously go down and up if it's not too silly. I'll get a coat of looking at and go from there. Basically my bearings taking me just to the right of that tree, so just head for that tree and reassess. So hard going even when it's dry. When it's wet it's a different animal again. You've got to do far more observation of where you're walking. You can end up in a bog from hell. You still can when it's dry, but obviously it's less likely. But it's where this vegetation, where colour changes, and obviously a slight depression down. walking on spongy moss. I just don't know if it's just going to break the surface. I'll put it across. Okay. So I'm just supposed to just give them a look at. Don't just go yomping in. A couple of random geese. Looks like one of these helium balloons. Take that with me then. So there's my tree, but I've got a couple of cliffs to dive through to get to that. I don't actually need to go to it, it was just a point of reference to keep me on heading. So I'll just circumvent these courses and take another bearing. Another section. Summit at Snake Pass, you see cars glinting, A57 there coming down. So over there you've got Burnt Hill, Mill Hill, looks like Mount Famine or South Head in the very background. Kinder Scout, the edge, starting to get into some wetlands. Hopefully the in pockets so I can get around the bloody things. Right, we've got to go across there, not be good. So a fair bit of weaving involved for the next section, which makes it fun for keeping a bearing. Well, you can't really box navigate either because you've got too many. But we're alright, we're good to go, just heading in that direction as and when I can get that way. Ooh, big pond dammed up there and a couple of crossings to make. So there's dams, we just don't know if you're gonna kill the dam basically, if it's going to support you. Yep, just got to head over that way a little bit. I mean, geese friends are going off that way, so bit of flagging. It's probably from Moors of the Future when they built the dams rather than a path to anywhere. Yep, still nowhere. Roughly the middle of. That's Featherbed moss, Trig point. What I might do is just to sort of take off the off piece. I've still got some off piece to do. I'm going to head that general direction. I'll take this one. I don't know where it goes. There's no markings of any trails to this Trig point whatsoever on any maps. Obviously people are coming to it for this Ethel malarkey. Theoretically now then I'm going to go over, that'll intersect the path. I can then go left or right. Left if I want to go to Tiger Moth, right if I want to bug out, and then I think I'm going up to the top of that bit of a crest over there, which is Black Chew Hill, which is this other Ethel thing, ATV track, and that will probably take you to the grouse butts, to be fair, but there's a trail here, so I'll stick with that for the time being and see what happens. But basically just head in anywhere in that ballpark. We'll intersect the Chew Reservoir path. Chew Reservoir's just coming to view, so this is heading so far in that general direction. Yeah, a couple of bugs still to negotiate. There's a fork in the nondescript path. Decisions. So there's the dam wall. So that takes you over to Indian Head. So I'm going to go intersect the path, just me down the side of Chew, and then just go off piste to the left of it, just past the end of the dam wall itself, and pick up the tiger moth. Just about to intersect the path. Dry off piste. What's going on here? Come to about 1.5 miles, 2 miles that way off the piste, dry, or relatively dry, or you can pick your way dry, get onto the path. It's a mud fest. Approaching the dam wall in about 200 metres. We're just going to carry on along a little ways on the path what goes that way, and then when we get to an appropriate intersection, bug out to my left. Chew Reservoir dam wall. So I've just got to head down here a little ways on the path, and then head off into the moor. Just see cross. That's what threw me then last time. I broke off the path when I came that way. Broke off the path up there, sidestepped all these cliffs, and bugged out and went over to that cairn and bugged out off. But I thought, from memory, it was in the side of one of these walls. It isn't. So the memory faulted me, and that led me astray, because I was looking in all these clough walls. But we got it this time, so all's well that ends well. And this is the turnaround point now then. So once I've done pathing here, back to the path, back to Chew, and back along the path where I just come along, and then carry on until an intersection off on my left to go up to this, I think it's Black Chew Hill, to this other Ethel thing, and then down to the Pennine Way from there, and back southish to Crowden. Got everything, make sure I've got everything. So tiger moth, I just got to head back to the intersect the path again now, and then back up to the dam wall and along this side of the reservoir, back on the path sort of came part way in on. Yeah, as you can see, flagging. It goes up the side there, just pretty much straight to the deck. Okay, that's with the there and back bit done. That's where I came in from. So now we're on back on the loop basically. I think I'll bypass that bridge. Thought we're there, but it don't really help. And I think I'll pass on the skinny dip today as well. Still on the transition path from Chew Reservoir over to the Pennine Way. Black Chew Head, which is this other Ethel, is off to my left. I'm still on the path at the moment to see where I can get a close intersect, reduce the amount of off piste to get to it. I'm approaching a county border, so whether there'll be anything to denote that, like a fence line or whatever, because it looks like the Ethel is basically right on the border fence or border marker. So at the moment I'm just carrying up this intersection, or transition path, sorry, see if I come across a border, and then probably break left at that point. A sudden series of cairns and indeed a fence line. So that'll be the county border. see what it's like running up to the left when I get to it. Probably clearest part of the path, this bit. There's cairns everywhere. The bit I've just come across got a bit sort of hit and miss in places. No markers, no cairns. This bit couldn't be any clearer. Loads on them. Right, so style. If I carry on across, it'll drop me to Pennine Way. I think it's only about another 200 metres that away. And Black Chew Head. I mean, logically, there's a fence here. So also semi-logically, there's some sort of path runs adjacent it for when they put the fence in, and indeed it looks like there is. So we shall take advantage of that and follow it up. And also say it's not a place most people would have even entertained coming to until they brought these Ethel things about. You just go the Pennine Way, you'd have no cause to be randomly off piste up here for no reason whatsoever. But say now it's an Ethel, then quite a few people will flag a path to it. So that's another Ethel out of the way, second of the day. The other one I'm guessing is there. That's Featherbed Moss Trig Point on top of that hill there. So that was my option, come up to that one and then go over to the Tiger Moth and then back to this. Or if I didn't want to do that one, I could have bugged out straight over to this one and shortened that leg, but obviously I've done that one, so that's that. Right, Black Hill Trig Point is on top of that plateau there. If you see this green meadow more or less in front here, you can see like where there's flagging coming down. Well, that's Sliddon's Moss. So all the way across that plateau, spread out about half a mile, is the two Gloucester Meteors. It's about a mile from the Trig Point south of it. Now there's a stile there, the Pennine Way. It's about 200 metres that away. I could go back to the fence line and then carry on along the path to take me intersect just below Laddow Rocks. This in theory I think will intersect me somewhere. I don't know if there's a path coming this way or not. There's a stile there, so there's some sort of flagging at some point, but either way 200 metres that away will intersect the Pennine Way, and I'll then be going right and it's all downhill from there, the Pennine Way. So there you go then, the landmark if you're going that Ethel. If you come from here, Laddow Rocks is all this neck at woods. So as it starts to descend down, you'll come to that step down there, rock outcrop, there's standing out rock, and head up this bit of a sort of clough, and there's a path appears. So go across here, it drops down this flank and down to that, and then the car park's in that tree line over yonder. Gorgeous day though. Some quite decent weather of late. If I'd have carried on, I would come back along fence line to the path, that would have brought me off at that tangent there and joined me onto the Pennine Way here. I came off piste and then around, so that will take me back to Trig Reservoir. Like a paved staircase now going down, so I should be just hitting that in a short minute. Waterfalls are just in this clough here. We just go over the head of it and around there. There's some water coming down, but probably won't be a massive on the falls, but we'll have a look while we're going past it for sure. Got a bit of flow on it, obviously not as much as it could have. Yeah, here's your flat rock. So the path off to the left should be coming up shortly. So Pennine Way is that way. So I came up the other side of that copse and then up there. So now we leave the Pennine Way. So that one takes us down straight to the education centre, and then this one will take me down to the weir. And approaching the weir. So once we get to the bridge, that closes the loop, and then I don't know, 800 meters back to the car. So now this is just last section of double up back to the car. Crowden Camping Caravan Club. And here now, it's the toilet block, and then we take a left through this bit of a wood. 8.7 miles, 5 hours 50 minutes.